This is Tony Nasca with DovNet Software, and today we're going to do a quick demonstration on the maintenance contract and inspection module. Okay, so we have here under the billing menu the auto billing module. With this auto billing module, there are two components we can generate. We can generate monthly invoices, quarterly, semi, whatever those are. We can also generate inspections. So when we click on this month and we set our anniversary date, January, February, March, and the first of the month, click over there, it will generate a list of all the projects that are going to be billed, and it shows us we have annual, quarterly, and monthly bills, and we have here the bill amount and then the contract amount. So it's going to bill quarterly $2,500, and the contract is for $10,000. Okay. And the same thing for inspections. Click over there. So this is going to generate all our inspections for this particular month. Okay, and it shows us the length of the number of hours associated with this inspection. Now, the way this first gets started is we're going to come over here to setup, and the first thing we establish is a type of sales. And we have type of sales here. We have a block of hours capabilities where you can pre-sell hours, and the system will track those hours and send out a message that you've met the hours and you need to resell some more hours. We also have a maintenance contract for recurring billing where the money comes before an inspection, and then we have inspections where we do the inspection and then we can bill for the money. We also have monitoring and then recurring contracts. So you can set up these different forms of recurring billing, etc. Then you establish them in the setup screen, and we would put here the money before the work. So these are our maintenance contracts before the work on this status, the tab. And then on General 2, we would establish where we put all our contracts. All the projects have a status. We're going to put them in status C. And the inspection product code is I. So that means when we generate projects with an I, it's going to go into the inspection status, and then we do the work, and then we bill afterwards. So PMSs can be set up to be billed afterwards. Preventative maintenance inspections can be billed afterwards, versus as recurring billing projects you would bill before you do the work, even if it includes an inspection. Okay. So to set one of these up, we would come over here to new project, and we would choose recurring billing or maintenance contract or recurring contracts, whichever one we want to use. Set this up like so. Click over there, puts it into our list. It gives us the appropriate project number, and these can have a separate series. So you can have different series of project numbers, and then we would choose our customer like so. Ship address. And then we put this into the contract hold status, which in this case is repeat contracts, and we give it a title, fire alarm maintenance contract. Something like that. Okay. Now, when we do that, because this is a recurring billing contract, it prompts us for the frequency of the invoices. And here you can either put, annual, semi-annual, quarterly. It actually works on every 3 months, every 4 months, 6 months, semi-annual, every other month. All those do function. We'll just do annual, and we're going to set this up for the anniversary date is February. Now, if you have to do a prorated invoice, you would do that outside of the project system or outside of the recurring billing module. Like if you wanted to bill them for half month to get them to the first, because all the maintenance contracts have to be on the first. There is an option if you have so many to process, you could also set them up for the 1st and the 15th. So that is an option that we can turn on. And then we've added a particular feature for a customer. What kind of plan is this? And one of these capabilities is the ability to have free parts if they're on Plan A, or free parts and labor on Plan B, or parts only if you're on Plan C. So that's a capability we could employ. So this part of this sets up the recurring inspection, recurring billing. The bottom part would be if there's an inspection associated with this project. So let's say this is a fire contract and there's an inspection twice a year, and we can put this anniversary date of the inspection on the same date of the anniversary of the recurring side, or we can make this a month later, and that's what most of our clients do when they have the inspection as part of the recurring billing. And then you can tell the system that the number of hours. So let's say that this is 16 hours to do one inspection. There are 2 inspections, each one taking approximately 16 hours apiece. And we'll call this fire alarm inspection. So fire alarm inspection, like so. Okay. So there you go. We've got it. We're going to bill you annually, and we're going to inspect twice a year. And we're done. Then the normal things come up, tax codes, and then we can go into the project like so. Okay. So now we go into our project, and we would put our money. So we're going to do we could do a C line or an E line, whatever. We can say annual contract, annual maintenance contract, like so. I'm going to spell check it for us. And we would put the selling price, and we said this is going to be $2,000. And this is going to be billing frequency of once a year. Now, if this were quarterly, then you'd make this $500 if the total contract was for $2,000. But we're going to do a frequency 1,000 like so. Okay. And then we could put other things below this. We can do something called a TE, which will end the invoice. Sorry. T and then E, which will end the invoice on this line. And then you could put other things like, if you're doing a proposal, you could put, this contract covers this, this, and this. You could actually write the quote where this would be the billable money, and you might do a Q line up here that says, maintenance contract, and give you the total figure. So maintenance contract, like so. And maybe we say it's, it's going to be $2,000, and we're billing on a quarterly basis, so we'll say $500, like so. That way you could actually write a quote and have the contract price is $2,000, and we're going to bill on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, $500, etc. And then below here we're going to cover X amount of equipment, these fire alarm devices, that's we could write the whole quote. All right, so we're not going to do any of that right now. We're just going to go ahead and make this a simple bill for $2,000, like so. All right, and we won't even need to do this line there too. So that's it. We set up our maintenance contract like so. All right, so now we can go ahead and generate our invoices. So now if we want to just go back and look, we can see all our contracts are going to be sitting right there. And there's the new one we just added just a bit ago. Okay, so what you'll do now on a monthly basis is you will come over here to this guy, and you will say this month's invoices for February. Of course, in January you'd do January's invoices, and then February you'll do February's invoices. Okay, and you can go ahead and preview this. Go over here, and this will generate a list. And on our list will be the one we just added, which will be today, fire safety system, $2,000, and that's the one we just added. Okay. Now, we can also look at all the invoices for the year for all of our contracts. Click over on here, and this would give us all of our contracts, and we see we have the monthly billings would be $63,000, but because they're quarterlies, the total contract is $210,000. So that's what all our recurring revenue is right there. Okay. Now, the other cool report is this one right here. This one will show us all the activity, billing activity by month. Click on here, and this gives us the ability to see how our billing is going to occur during the year. and you see we're going to have a really happy month on December, and either January or whichever one. I guess July as our low billing month, and then based on the different anniversary dates and whether it's quarterly or semi-annual. And then you also have the breakdown down here where you can see what contracts are going to bill for those different months. And you see there's the one we just added right there is going to bill in February. Okay. Now, when we go ahead now and we want to create the invoices, we of course look at the list, make sure we're happy with the list, and then we come over here and we say create monthly, create invoices. We hit start, and this is now going to proceed to do the billings for all the 20 or so invoices we have. So when it's finished, the system will go through generate all invoices, and it'll print out a report of all the invoices that were created. And we see here our project that we just added to the list right there. Now what we can do now is we come down to the Reprint module, and all those invoices are sitting here. Actually, there's going to be some that are a little bit from the prior demonstration, and right there. So there's all the recurring invoices that have been set up like so, and you see they're ready to be printed. And then we can go ahead and hit the reprint button right here, reprint all, and the system will proceed to print out all the invoices. If the customer has been set up to have a email invoice and you click this, then instead of printing the actual invoice, it will go ahead and email the invoice to the client instead of actually giving you a hard copy. Okay. Now I'm not going to do that part of this. Now the other thing we can do is generate our inspections. So we would come down here, again, set our anniversary date, click over here, set the month, preventative maintenance, set the month, look at our inspections. Come over here, and now it's going to generate these inspections for us. And if our setup be March, like so, because we delayed the one we put in, there's the one we put in, and it'll come out in March. So when we're finished with the list, we're happy with the list, we can go ahead and say create PMSs like so, click. And so this was the source project, and it just generated a service ticket for that in this service ticket. And we can find all those service tickets under our inspection to-do list. Come over there. Under inspection to-do list. There we go. And there's all inspections that we just added. And there's our maintenance contract, the one we just added to our system. Okay. Now what you would go ahead and do is you would post your billable, your time to these individual projects. Okay. Now, the second aspect of this is that was recurring billing and preventative maintenance. The second aspect of this is the service tracking module. The service tracking module is about showing the profitability of your contracts. And so the way this works out is the following. Let's say a call came in for a particular customer, and it was regarding the maintenance contract. I can come over here to here and find that customer, let's say CTL. And it shows us we have a maintenance contract with this customer. And if we click on the recurring billing module, it then looks in the status recurring contracts, and it sees all the projects we have as far as maintenance contracts. And there's our service agreement. So what we can do is we can tie the service call to the maintenance contract. And we would click on this and we'd say new service related to contract or not related to contract. Not being, let's say they drove a forklift through the wall. Well, that's going to be a billable job not related to a contract. But if it was just camera down, that would be related to the contract. So we click on this, say contract related, service call related to maintenance contract. And then you go ahead and create the project the normal way you would. Click over there. Okay. Customer's already been chosen. We choose our ship address, like so. And then we could go ahead and put this into our, service call dispatch, whatever that is, and then we say camera dead or something like that. Something like that. Okay. And so now we have our little project. Click over there. And there's our little service call. So service call is 100-895. 985. So from a service call position, we can dispatch this out to TPS Mobile. We can, print it out, give it to the technician. They come back and say they work 4 hours. So from a job cost position, we can come over here to this guy and come over to this guy, and we can post labor to that service call. So we come over here, technician 100985, like so, and there's our camera dead right there. And let's say we posted 4 hours of work. We went out on a particular day, and we fixed camera, like so. Hit post. Okay. And then maybe we had to put a camera on that job. So let's bring up our little service call, and we'll put a camera on the jobs. We'll put a Panasonic, something like this, like so. Grab an item, F2, grab a Panasonic part. Something we have in stock, come over there like so. And, well, that's an expensive camera. Let's do something a little cheaper. I wasn't trying to break the bank here. Like so, up. And then we would go ahead and allocate it to the project. Now we have to allocate it because that's when our costs get incurred. So we would go ahead and allocate that to the project. Click over there. Cancel like so. And we just allocated it to our project like so. Okay. Now, because we have our costs incurred against our project, we can look at the job cost report for this project, this service call, and we would see our 2 items associated with the project. We have here our labor hours, and then we have our camera. So we have a total of 200 hours posted against this service call, but it is also posted against the maintenance contract. So now what we can do is we can go to the list and status and run a report against the maintenance contract. So if I click over here and I say our project number 90000 and XX like so, value, special, service history detail, show detail items. This will list out all of the events against the maintenance contract. And so here we are. We see our service call that we've taken against this project. There's our today's date. And we see our 4 hours labor and the labor costs, and then the parts cost against this contract. Now we also had something that we took out on the 17th, but there's an inspection out there that's still hanging loose. Nothing's been incurred. And then we have another service call that was out there. We've incurred additional costs. Okay. And now these were actually billable events, so we actually did some billing, so that increased our contract. If we go to the bottom of the list over here, we can see the original contract, and then our we can see our original contract price there, $20,000, plus we did some additional billings against that contract that were billable events. So we had a total of 45 service calls against this, our parts costs and our labor costs. And so across this entire contract, including the $20,000 plus the additional billings, we had a 63% gross profit, which actually is pretty good. Now, if you find out, like, you go out to the customer side and you find out that this is a project that's not part of the contract, you can disassociate this. We can open the service ticket up. Our service ticket is right there. Go into our project, our service call, go to heading section, other fields, and we can edit this and clear the relationship to the maintenance contract, like so. Okay. And now when we go back to list and status and we run that same report, 9000 XX, and we say this, like so, show detail. And the show detail will either list the line items of the service call involved or not show the line items. And there you go. So now we have the other turbo tickets that were open. There must be a large project right there. See, there's a large project that's part of this little project that's in there. And then there's the next one, next one, next one. And you see at the bottom of the list, we're going to have, there's going to be one less service call against this. Profitability is about the same because it didn't affect the overall profit of the job. And there you go. So there's your enhanced recurring billing module, and then also the service tracking module where you're seeing the profitability by contract. All right. Feel free to call with any questions on this particular module. Thank you very much. Again, that's the maintenance contract module and then service history tracking module, like so. Service history tracking module.